So, Stephen A., is LeBron James a first ballot Hall of Famer right now?
Without question. It's nothing to even think about. It's one of the greatest players to have ever played the game.
Okay, my first problem with this question before I get to you, Stephen A. Smith, is that, I think that Tiago Splitter is already a first ballot Hall of Famer in the Basketball Hall of Fame because everybody gets in. I think Chris is going to get in due time. Stephen A. Smith will get in due time. Maybe. That's a big maybe. But I can't respect the criteria for getting into the Basketball Hall of Fame the way I can the Baseball and the Football Hall of Fame. So if I'm judging by those standards, the baseball and football standards, there is no way that LeBron James is already a first ballot Hall of Famer. Do I have time to go into it? I don't think
he had 9 turnovers, so I'll give you that.
Hold on.
He was a disaster in the fourth quarter of that game. A disaster.
Okay, we're going to leave it right
I watched it with these two lazy, repaired eyes.
27, 19,
oh,
and 10.
Please.
How is that awful?
You know what happened in that fourth quarter.
In what world?
You are disqualified now from talking about LeBron James as MVP because after what I saw yesterday, nobody who could be in the MVP conversation can get away with just taking a back seat in the fourth quarter to the other guy on his team. The MVP of the Cavs is this guy. It's Kyrie Irving. I would hate to see what would happen to LeBron without Kyrie right now because they might be closer to that team you were describing when Kyrie was there. I'm sorry, but that's what it is. No more MVP talk.
Game for your life. Pick your 5.
You ready?
Go ahead.
Okay, I told you. I only need really one player on my team, and that's Michael Jordan. So, voila, here's my team. And I'm going to have you read the names for me. Could you read my 4 teammates?
Oh, my God.
Just in honor of you, I want you to read the 4
Tiago Splitter, Rasho Nastarovich, Kwame Brown, and Slava Medvedenko.
It's Stanislav, actually.
Oh, my God. That's a joke on me.
No,
it's not.
That is a joke on me.
No,
That team could beat anybody because it's got Michael Jordan on it. I almost just put Michael Jordan solo on my team, just have a one-man show. But I thought, why not those other 4? Because they're 4 your all-time favorite
Let me
players.
treat the sport of basketball with the respect and deference it deserves. Because clearly you're blasphemy with that list. How could you show up on national TV and do such a thing? I mean, this isn't Halloween. This isn't Halloween. This is April Fool's. This is April 1st. You don't make a joke like that. It's horrible. That's a horrible, horrible selection.
9 National Football League teams that needed a quarterback last night passed on Johnny Manziel, starting with the Houston Texans, who will forever regret passing on Johnny Manziel. And in a minute, I will go right down the list of teams that will forever regret passing on Johnny Manziel, who pretty soon will change football life in Cleveland, Ohio. One day, I am predicting, Johnny Manziel will become even bigger in the city of Cleveland than his buddy and business partner LeBron James ever was in the city of Cleveland. Luke Walton was merely the son of the great Bill Walton, so that gives him some cachet, you know, it gives him some respect.
No.
Luke Walton was just a second. Luke Walton was a starter for 8 years alongside Kobe Bryant, and Luke Walton does have 2 rings to his credit, so he's only 1 short of LeBron. And
Stop it, Skip.
Wait a second.
Okay. Why'd you throw that in there?
I had to. Just for respect. And Luke Walton.
And 34% said MJ would beat LeBron James one-on-one right now at the age of 52. You hear that? 52 years old. They still think he can beat LeBron James right now. That's 34%. 54% say no, LeBron would win the matchup if it was one-on-one. Here's the kicker, though, and we're talking about a specific age group. Look at this age group. They feel that if you're between the ages of 30 and 45 years old, 48% believe Jordan would take LeBron one-on-one. So, Skip, did the American people get it right?
The 34%.
The 34%. I mean, and what we're saying is, can he right now, at 52 years old,
right here, right now,
beat LeBron one-on-one? I mean, and beyond. Come on.
You know, Stephen A. Smith.
Oh gosh, don't do this.
You know. He just might.
Don't do
He
this.
just might be able to.
Okay.
I say that on this alone and this alone, Michael Jordan could figure a way to beat a LeBron James who just might crumble under the pressure to beat his idol, the greatest basketball player in the history of life.
Okay, so I just want to make sure we got this right.
Yes.
2 months, just give him 2 months, no cigars,
No
a
cigars,
diet change,
yep.
and trained by you
Yep.
specifically, and just with heart and head, he'd be able to do it. Those
Correct.
are the intangibles.
Yep.
So
that makes those 34%. That's a high number.
So
that
you
makes them
agree.
correct.
Okay.
I'm about to put Paul George in that category. I'm starting
In the
to
cleaner?
see, yes, I'm starting to see, by today's standards, cleaner capabilities from Paul George. And if I might, I'm also seeing them south of San Antonio in the city of Houston. James Harden is a bad man who is leading that basketball team in fourth quarter after fourth quarter after fourth quarter. I'm close to putting him in that category above Kevin Durant. This is all above Kevin. And the reason I can't put Steph Curry in there quite yet, he's just too little. I can't, because Kevin Durant, as we all know, he was born 6 feet, not he didn't come out 6'10", but he's got by gift 6 feet 10 inches, and what's his wingspan, 7'7"? So again, can't put Steph in there yet just because of his size. And Damian Lillard is starting to threaten that category, also above Kevin Durant. So I named a whole bunch of dudes, but I gave you 4 that I definitely would put up there above Kevin in the cleaner category. Here's my problem. I'm all about fourth quarters, and we just gave the MVP to a guy who is not the closer for the Toronto Raptors, because Van Vliet was the closer, which is why Hubie said, I'm going to go with the closer. He closed again last night. And I'm about to smash your argument into 1,000 pieces, because that shot was 1,000% luck. That was simply the luckiest shot that ever fell to win a playoff game. Ever, ever, ever. In all my years, going back to covering the Lakers here in the middle 1970s, I've never seen a luckier shot that won a playoff game.
Why was it lucky?
Number 2 actually had the audacity after the game, standing on the court in the post-game interview, to say that, oh, I work on that shot every day in practice. No, you don't. Baloney.
How you call the man a liar?
I think it's my turn, and I think you're not going to interrupt me because I didn't interrupt you after the early interruption.
Oh, okay.
Then I bided my time,
really?
and now it is my turn. There is no way he practices a shot to do that, because I could give him 100,000 shots, and he could not, again, make a shot do that because it's almost physically impossible. How'd you like the end of Game 6 of the NBA Finals, the last minute? Remember that game?
Well, I loved the end of it. I actually was on the edge of my seat. Did I expect that to happen? No, I didn't. Skip, but you know what it's called?
Wait, was it LeBron who had those 2 late turnovers and then missed the tying 3?
Oh, my Lord.
And somehow the ball bounced
No,
to
let's go
Bosh.
there. Let's go there.
And it went to Ray Allen? Oh, Ray Allen made the 3 that saved LeBron's career.
You know what?
Hold on, wait a minute.
You know what? Because you have no comeback.
I said you have to.
I'll let you off the hook here.
Wait a minute.
You got no comeback.
Wait a minute. I said you have to be able to play and be box office. You can't be box office but can't play. Don't you dare. Are you trying to tell me in that same, you're going to sit here, you're going to sit, I swear to God, I'm standing up for this. I'm standing up for this.
Talk about
are you going to tell me,
Tim
are you going
Tebow's
to tell
Hollywood.
me that Tim Tebow deserves to be
a bigger
mentioned
draw
in the
than
same
Kobe
battle
Bryant is
than
right
Kobe
now.
Bryant?
He's a bigger draw than Kobe Bryant.
He's a bigger,
yeah.
Go to break.
I got him.
I almost want to walk off this set right now. I can't believe this man just said this out of his mouth. You're telling me that
Marcellus Wiley in the house? We need to get Marcellus out of
Where is he?
He needs a blow.
Tim Tebow?
He's out.
Tim Tebow
need
is
a
more
tag
box
team
office
partner.
than Kobe Bryant?
Yes.
Than Kobe Bryant?
Yes.
Is Tim Tebow more box office than LeBron?
I think so. It's the National Football League. Go look at the numbers. Go look at the numbers he did in his games last year. It's through the roof.
Go on a set.
It's through the roof. Marcellus, get out here.
Get out here, man.
I need some help.
I don't even
get
talk.
Marcellus out
I can't deal with it right now.
Yeah,
I need a
he's
break.
out. Yesterday, Avery Bradley was the GOAT. He was the GOAT for about 15 minutes. He had his 15 minutes of GOAT fame because he took a season-high 12 three-pointers, and he made a season-high 6 three-pointers. And if you want to guarantee me that Avery Bradley, each time these teams play from here on out, every other game will hit 6 threes, I will tell you that the Lakers will sweep the Clippers in the playoffs. Because if he can keep making 6 a game, it will be 4-0 in the playoffs.
Play it again. Look who he's guarding, Skip. He's matched up with Kawhi Leonard. He helped off of Leonard to stop the penetration.
Okay, but he goes out and runs into Ginobili.
He stopped. That's a help and recover play.
Okay.
He stopped him, but his man is Kawhi Leonard.
Okay, I'm with you on that.
Okay, so
but they run together. He runs into Ginobili.
But he's just
but don't give me this Ginobili's going like this. Ginobili's protecting himself too. They run together.
He prevented him from making any play on the shooter.
He's not trying to make a play on the shooter. He's making a play. He's stopping Ginobili from going to the hole.
No, the play is
he's ultimately guarding. He has left his man. He is guarding. He's stopping the drive.
I participated in this kind of defense for 10 years in the NBA.
I've watched it for 30 years.
Help and recover. He wasn't guarding Ginobili. He was
stopping Ginobili.
He was helping to, he picks up the penetration and gets to the next part of it is. When he passes it, you recover to the shooter.
There's no pick play. Ginobili's not trying to pick him. They run into each other. They run in. Ginobili puts his arms up to stop himself.
Very next step is going to be to step and extend on the shooter.
He's got a lane to go to Kawhi if he wants to go. And he flopped. You know why he couldn't go to Kawhi? He flopped. He flopped away, and I will say this. It's karmic justice, if you want to call it.
Can we respectfully disagree and move on to the Heat?
No.
Not on that one.
Why? This is good.
That's a clear-cut one to me.
No, I know.
You teach a 6-year-old that.
Okay, I know that. Okay, the point is, they run face to face together,
Ginobili,
and he flopped.
You really think Ginobili didn't? You're telling me right now, with your lying eyes, that
my correct eyes, my 20/20 eyes. Is that what you're talking about?
You're telling me right now that Manu Ginobili did not pass the ball and continue with his momentum in the direction
he had no
that
choice.
would prevent him from getting to the corner.
Harden got in his way. They ran face to face together. Ginobili is protecting himself, and Harden flopped.
I don't know how you do it.
Don't ask for help.
I don't know how he does it.
Now, all that said, what Dwayne said about defining moment is sad but true. And I'll tell you why it's sad.
Why is it sad?
It took LeBron 13 NBA seasons to have his defining moment. It took a finals that looked like LeBron was going to lose to fall to 2-5 in NBA finals. And by the way, he wouldn't have even been 2-5 if not for the great Ray Allen, who saved his legacy with the greatest clutch shot I ever saw. It was a finals-saving clutch shot. Am I right about that, Joy Taylor? Saved the day.
No, you're
Took
not,
LeBron
Joy.
off the hook. LeBron would have gone down not as the GOAT, as in greatest of all time, but just the GOAT of that game.
It's the greatest clutch shot in NBA history.
Oh, come on. There's nothing like it. And it saved LeBron's legacy because if Ray doesn't hit that shot, we could have been talking about right now LeBron falling to 1-6 in the finals, and that wouldn't be a very defining moment to me.
You agree that LeBron is the best number one
question is that?
overall draft pick in NBA history?
You do? What happened? And because I believe this with all my heart and soul, that the guy who deserves to be number one on this list is the guy who is criminally underrated because he was the most boring superstar in the history of sports. Not just the NBA, it's Tim Duncan. He was boring. He was no Duncan, so he doesn't qualify for SportsCenter highlights. But after they drafted him, you're right, he stepped on the floor and he was immediately better coming out of Wake Forest than David Robinson was. So they'd gone 20-62 the year before, mostly because David Robinson had been hurt. But boom, they take off, and a dynasty happened. Over the next 19 years, they made the playoffs every time. And what I loved about Tim Duncan was he stayed home the whole time. He didn't take his talents to South Beach and then back to Akron and blah, blah, blah. He stayed where he started and finished, and he was the leader of that franchise. And of the big three, he was by far the biggest of the big three. He was the superstar of that group, beyond Ginobili, beyond Tony Parker. And if you boil this down back to the greatest clutch shot that was ever made by Ray Allen, if you take that away, Tim Duncan would have been 6-0 in the NBA Finals. That is Jordan-esque. I got to 6-0. I will never forget what number 2 did to me and my San Antonio Spurs. He quit on my Spurs 2 years ago and quit his way right out of San Antonio. But you know what? Maybe it's time to forgive, to let it go, to let it be. Maybe it's time to do what number 2's Uncle Dennis asked me to do at the Manny Pacquiao fight back in August in Las Vegas, on behalf of number 2. Uncle Dennis said, why don't you call him by his given name? So you know what? It's time. Here I go. Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard.